Hello everyone, and welcome to this video where we are going to be taking this awesome submarine made by Lord Bison, the oil spear, and converting it into something that we would expect ALTA to be using. Now, Lord Bison is one of the moderators on my Discord server, and this update and change will be obviously approved by him, and then I'll upload it with him as a collaborator. So I'm not taking anything that's not mine, I'm merely updating it and adjusting it for what ALTA would be using. Now, I talked with him and we kind of discussed what ALTA is like. Now, ALTA tends to be a brand that's heavy industrial, but also a bit unrealistically like luxurious, and kind of has their paw in every industry. If you know their style, you know that they have a very specific both color scheme but also sort of style that you'll see. So you could see in this garage bay, for example, how we have kind of a very modern open feel, and even better inside the oil rig itself, where we've combined both the living quarters and work quarters. So very modern instrumentation, a lot of displays, a lot of kind of muted colors along with the main blue and red color scheme. Up here, a pool table, little living area. Here we got a bedroom with a fireplace. Funny enough, we are in the desert, but again, this is just kind of that style, and you can see this wall of glass, and guess what's on the rooftop? Well, a little hot tub and barbecue area along with a helicopter. So that is a very quick visual of what the ALTA style is like, and we'll see if we can recreate it in the oil spear submarine. Now, the oil spear creation from the exterior, you could see that it is mostly black, so it looks like a war machine. So definitely there's something we can do there to make it more ALTA-like. In the interior, you have a very interesting setup of two bays that lift up. Now, it's tough to see here, but you should watch my other video. Pretty much the submarine tilts itself up onto this drill, and the whole thing, rather than sitting like this, is 90-degree rotated, and these rooms match. So the rooms actually have pivots that you can see right here that rotate up. So it makes it a little tough to kind of have a consistent color scheme, because what is a floorboard here becomes part of the wall when this gets lifted. The actual operation and system for, you know, the catwalks and the oil drilling system is fantastic. I'm not even going to touch it because it works very similar to the ALTA rig, and which actually Lord Bison helped out with, and it works quite well. So there's nothing to touch there. So really it's aesthetics and a little bit of the displays and functionality. So first thing I did was recolor the whole thing. Now, I did like the propeller to stay black, so you could see it's black, and I did want the massive drill in the front to also be black. Now, this looks a little bit like a thing of nightmares with these kind of teeth coming towards you, but I didn't want them to be colored yellow. I wanted the whole thing to be more realistic. In the actual mining industry, these things turn out very dirty and have to have a lot of wear resisting materials, so I'm gonna just kind of make it black. Now, the top is where you'll see a lot of the difference. So first things first, I've put a helipad with the connectors that you see out of my new helicopters, so you could land a lot of different types of helicopters. And what is ALTA but flashy? So we gotta have windows, and we gotta have a wooden interior with nice red carpets and whatnot. So in addition to adding some equipment, the actual space in here now is colored quite opulently, intentionally, and you could see we got red carpets, we got the beds, and over here a large display or window to kind of stare out of when we're going, in addition to this console that I kind of reconfigured. I used one of my sonar microcontrollers, and I adjusted some of these systems. So overall now, and that's just some of the tweaks, I also changed the location of some of the equipment that you see beneath here. And before we take it on its maiden voyage, I do want to make a nice decal logo that I could put on the side. The sub is quite large, so the branding looks a little small, but we're going to go ahead and spawn it in and make our way into the cabin here. I think there's a specific name for submarines when it comes to this area, but here we have it. And you could see that with the displays and with all the windows, and I even have this little railing that prevents you from falling off when these pivots are engaged. And you'll see that we have kind of these upward windows, almost like a T shape. Well, those are in use when these pivots fold up. So we'll go ahead and fire it up. And you can see that by pressing 5, we actually switch to this other map system. And press 5, we go back to the cameras. Now I will add the lights on independent switches, so we could turn the lights on, because I believe they're automatic, but I would like the availability to turn them on myself. You see that there's number 3 external lighting, so everything is on one circuit. Yeah, so we'll add that to be a little bit different. And I just have to make sure I have infinite electric on, because this thing does have a steam generator that takes a little while, so I don't want to damage the thing, and also it won't go very fast, it'll drain. So here we have it. I may have to color that bottom gray thing. So that's the first maiden voyage of the ALTA version of the oil spear. Now I have my own sonar that I used. You can see here we have kind of this system with range and whatnot. And again, like I said, I changed the shape of the displays, but that is intentional because with them being tall, we weren't able to fold this system up into the roof. And I did want to create kind of a viewing port through this window. I just like having windows. I think that's kind of evident in all of my OMA and ALTA creations. So having just a tall window is something I do. Now, we'll activate this upright mode. And we got to dive. Now if we dive, we also have to use this system. Now I do think we need to have auto mode on so we could actually use the ballast tanks. Now I don't think the water is deep enough here, but overall, let's see if we can get it upright. I actually ended up beached on the shore here, so clearly took the wrong turn somewhere. Trying it again here. So we're not actually in a spot that has oil, but we're just trying to test out our facilities here. So eventually we're going to come and hit the seafloor. Anytime you have a creation with moving parts, you got to watch out for phantom physics. So something funky is going on here. It looks like it's hitting onto these stairs. So I have to take a look and see what is happening there. So I've just connected to the ground. The submarine is locked in place. I did add this new rotating light. I think that will be a great addition to kind of spotting this when it's in its upright configuration. And we have the two spaces now defined. So over here we have our breakers and our ballast system. Over here we have the display that kind of gives us all of our information. And if we go make our way down lower, we have some equipment on the wall. We have what was previously the windshield. Now it's kind of like a floor window, so you could actually see the bottom. And if we climb up, again, first bay here where we were, and then second bay up there, we enter the kitchen kind of living space and the control space. Now here, this railing makes a lot more sense, so you don't accidentally fall all the way down like I just did now. So that's why that railing is there. And Now, the previously upright windows are now kind of your space windows. So over here, not space, but like define the room. Now over here, they're mostly blocked, but up here, you have nice open access around you. Now over here is the drilling room with the actual drilling shaft, but overall, I'd say the space itself is a little more defined and definitely looks a little more like what we know and expect of ALTA. I have a preference for sliding doors, so I'm just going to replace the previous drilling room door with a sliding door. It'll just make it a little bit easier and streamlined to access. Especially when you're standing inside, you won't have the door kind of swinging into your space. So that is done, and pretty much now just some final touches and stuff. Now, like I said, the light control I have to do, and it would be nice to add a boat or a rib or even a mini sub. Perfect, there's a spot right here where I could put my instrument panel, and that will contain all the buttons for the various lights around the vessel. Previously, Hotkey 3 was all external lighting, but now I actually want to make my channel 1 communicate with the spotlights. So we have 4 spotlights on the front. Now that is communicating with channel 1. Channel 2 will be just my regular old exterior lighting. So we have one here, we have one on the opposite side, and then I added some back here. And I added some above the diving doors, so it's easy to navigate and enter into the submarine. The last thing here are the navigational lights that we have on the submarine, and for this I actually want to have them turn themselves on whenever the submarine is operational, so I'll actually put that under systems active, because those are kind of navigational lights. And now under Hotkey 3 we shouldn't have anything left. We have one down there and it's a spotlight, so we're going to put that to be channel 1. Channel 3 will be the helicopter lights. I did want to put a submarine. I even made an open or wet sub variant of the Lil Rove, but my problem with this is how do we deploy it when we're in the vertical mode versus in the horizontal mode? And the answer is quite tough. Like, how you can't really pair it unless you bring it back. So to avoid complication, we're going to leave it as it is. So taking it on another spin, the color scheme looks good. The interior, while difficult to really do much with a space so open and big, especially when we're going to be folding these things back and forth, this kind of is all we really can do, but it does look good. The wood paneling, the colors, the skylights, it looks actually more like a airship in here than a boat or a submarine, but I like it. And then of course the systems themselves are awesome. They're well tested and work well. So it's really just this stuff that I kind of ended up experimenting with. I did add some extra fins, and it's more or less giving it the ability to submerge and stay under a little easier, get underneath without the ballast tanks having to be full. So that is a nice thing, but I did turn on the auto mode, so we are having the ballast tanks on, and slowly they will charge up to the point where the submarine will kind of have neutral buoyancy. But overall, you could see that the thing is going very fast underwater. Gotta avoid those. Okay, that was close. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how it looks. Overall, a very neat system. A beautiful creation. I'm not taking credit for it. Bison killed it. Did an incredible job with this. And all I do is I'm able to reap the benefits of his labor here for ALTA. So now, to position ourselves in an upright position here, we do have to rely on our propeller here. I'm putting it in the backwards or negative. If you hit W and the up arrow, you can actually rotate it on the spot. So it seems we got the drill connected, the alarm went, the lights are on, everything's happy here. So that gives us now connection to the ground. Now we're not in a spot where it does have drilling, so for the drilling process, you will want to watch the other video where I give a full breakdown and show how to do this. It is easy, but you do definitely want to probably see it done before you attempt it yourself. Here we have the drill room, so you could see that with the sliding door it just makes things a little easier here. We got our emergency gear here, some other emergency gear there, so just a variety of different things all over this place. But you can see that the system seems to work quite well and look quite good. So I love how it looks. I like the functionality. Adding the windows and stuff definitely made it a little more ALTA-like. Hopefully Lord Bison enjoys what I've done. Now this airlock system, you can see we can climb in. You just have to be pressing the airlock button as you do, and then you crawl in, hold control, you kind of crouch in here, that door will close, you can grab the diving gear and hold this and out you go. Oh, there's high pressure there. It's kind of fighting us. Oh, we gotta flood it. So you just hold it, kind of floods in here, and then you can swim out. One little thing that I want to add after the fact is my newest underwater creation, the sea banana. Now the sea banana, if you haven't seen in my teaser shots, it's a wet sub, so it doesn't have a pressurized cabin, rather you have to wear diving gear. But what it does is it lets you pretty much roam around pretty quickly, carry passengers, gives you a display, and it lets you hold altitude or hold depth. And back here we have some tanks that hold air, so we could actually transport air, and back here as well is a diving kit that can be recharged as well. So just a nice clean little creation that I think would supplement a submarine like this. If you are drilling oil at the bottom of the ocean and you want to get to the surface quickly, the sea banana will be your best bet. Now I would like to have it configured such that we can take off on it and return it whether we are submerged in the normal sense or whether we are drilling oil. So for that reason it has to almost be sort of on a platform that can rise up and move. So what I'm going to do is just move this stuff around a little bit and reconfigure it to the very front so we have a bit of a clear path here to have this thing be deployed. My main goal with this is to make sure that no matter which direction you're coming in from, you can pair it. So I put a sliding track and I have these two connectors on either side. So no matter how you're coming in, you can park it. I mean, I wish it was in line with the submarine rather than being kind of at an angle. Small logical change. We gotta make it fold or bend in this direction, of course, so we can actually use it when we do the upright mode. We'll try that again. So we'll dig the nose in, and now, like I said, you can use it if you are obviously parked, not moving, but in this direction, or if we enable the upright mode, you could see how that now influenced the adjusting of that dock for the mini sub, or for the... So what we can do then is obviously as this bends up and positions itself in the upright direction, that is ready to go. So the banana, you can just kind of drive off with it as it is and dock it back on that spot. So little final update or change for this, just wanted to showcase it in a video. We'll test it up in the actual spot if we make our way outside, obviously through the airlock, and we end up here. So first thing we got to do is release the connectors, hop into the operator, and release the track. I mean, you don't have to release the track. You could also just use the oh, there we go. You could just use you could slide off the track, so I think that'd probably be better. But there you have it. You can actually now use this system and leave the sub to drill oil while you're making your way around on the sea banana. So there we have it, the ALTA oil submarine in its full glory, thanks to Lord Bison and the oil spear. Beautiful creation. This will hit the workshop soon for everyone to enjoy. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, as well as kind of the steps that I took to make this beautiful thing. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more creations. I have more submarines planned. I have more helicopters planned. I have a lot of different stuff. So super excited for all that. Until next time, happy Stormworksing, everyone.